Hello everyone, and welcome to my free-to-play Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss Guide. And welcome to my free-to-play Rares Only Plus series. On this account, I've been progressing through the game using champions who are rare, uncommon, or common, plus any champion who is free and permanently available to all players. I'm currently 164 days into the game. Now let's go over the champions I'm using, why I'm using them, and how I have them built. First up, and most importantly, we have High Katoon. It's her 19% speed aura lead, as well as her 15% turn meter boost, plus the 30% increased speed buff that makes this speed tune possible. Next, we have Hellborn Sprite. Her job is to be my buff extender who can extend the duration of all buffs on a 3-turn cooldown. Additionally, she also places Weaken on her A1. The next crucial piece to this puzzle is Marked. Her job is to place block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn, plus bring a 60% increased defense buff for 2 turns. Additionally, she places decreased defense on her A1. Beyond that, the next thing you want to look for on your team is someone who can place the big version of decreased attack, and additionally you will also need a damage dealer. For these roles, I have chosen Coffin Smasher, who does the big version of decreased attack on his A1, each hit having a 30% chance to place it. And for my damage dealer, I've chosen Frozen Banshee, who places 25% poison sensitivity and 2 of the big poisons on her A1. I'll be going over their builds in just a moment, but for right now, let's take a look at the speed tune and see what makes this team work. So this is my adaptation of the pre-existing speed tune developed by Deadwood Jedi, referred to commonly as the High Katoon White Whale. Here we have Deadwood Jedi's version. In this version, High Katoon goes last in the team order, and Marked is unable to keep block debuffs up for the stun and the clan boss affinity debuffs on the second AoE. I've spent many hours changing speeds around and adapting this pre-existing speed tune to make it work with Marked. So as you can see, Marked is placing the block debuffs here to block debuffs from the affinity, and then she places it again right here just before the stun. And watch, you'll see that when I switch it from Void to Spirit Affinity, the speed tune holds. Marked, the only champion in this speed tune who receives the decreased speed on the second AoE is High Katoon, but it doesn't slow her down enough to ruin the speed tune. As you can see, it stays perfectly in sync. Now let's take a look at the speeds and go over the setup. Now, it is unfortunately not a full auto team. High Katoon requires a 2-turn delay on her A2, so I generally open with her A1 and then go into the A1 again. Hellborn Sprite, it can work with her on a 1-turn delay. However, because she is my stun target, and she's taking the stun and getting stunned on the first stun, it will throw off how this her A3 syncs. So to compensate for that, I put it in the calculator on a 4-turn delay. So her setup is to A1, 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 then she takes the stun. And because she's stunned, this turn here will be skipped, and on her following turn, when the stun wears off, she'll go into her A3. So because of this, you really need to A1 once, twice, and thrice. After the third A1 on Hellborn Sprite, you could hit auto, and it goes full auto from there. Now for the speeds, High Katoon is set at 235 speed. This is a little flexible, but 235 is the minimum. As you can see, you can bump it up a few, and it doesn't throw things off. I just have her set at the minimum because that's just the way I have her geared in game. Hellborn Sprite, this is extremely tight. Now you can see we're on Spirit. If I move this up by 2 speed, it throws everything out, and if I move it down, you see the timing of Mark's A3 gets thrown off. So you like 190 to 191. It's very tight for it to work on Spirit. Marked, her speed is 249. That is the minimum. However, you can go up from there. And this one is very, very loose. However, 249 is the minimum. I have mine geared in game at 252. Frozen Banshee, or whoever you have in this damage dealer slot, 225 is the minimum. And you have some wiggle room. So, but 225 is the minimum. And for Coffin Smasher, this slot is also very tight. If you go down to 201, it throws out. And if you go up, it seems to stay. Let's check on Void. Yeah, something's getting thrown off. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so yeah. I have mine geared at 203 in game. But it looks like 202 is the minimum. Now let's take a look at how each champion is built. You'll notice that every champion on this team is in a Guardian set. Guardian, Guardian, Guardian. The reason Guardian is particularly powerful is because it ally protects each of the wearer's allies by 10% of all incoming damage. They receive damage equal to the amount mitigated. And also on top of that, they receive a 10% of their max HP heal every turn at the start of their turn. In Clan Boss, this is particularly powerful because the Clan Boss has a passive called Gathering Fury. The way Gathering Fury works is over the course of the fight, the Clan Boss attacks become harder and harder hitting. But the wearer of the Guardian set mitigates 10% of the total damage, but the extra 10% damage that they take is the damage as it was before it becomes multiplied by Gathering Fury, meaning they're significantly reducing the damage that all of their allies takes, but it comes at a very, very little cost to themselves. Now, because we're using Marked and she provides a 60% increased defense buff to all her allies, it significantly reduces the amount of defense everybody needs on this team in order for them to be defense capped. You'll notice Marked only has 2,199 defense. Hellborn Sprite only has 2,500 defense. Coffin Smasher has 2,400 defense. Frozen Banshee has 3,000 defense. And High Katoon has 2,600 defense. Because we have the 60% increased defense buff, this actually puts everybody closer to like 3,500 to 4,000 defense, depending on how it varies champion to champion. But the lowest defense I have on my team is Marked with 2,100. So that value multiplied by 60% is 3,518, which is technically below where she needs to be defense capped. However, to compensate, she has 60,000 HP. Once your champion is defense capped, the best way to increase their survivability after that is to stack as much HP as possible. So you'll notice Hellborn Sprite, who is my stun target, has 63,000 HP, but only 2,500 defense. But with the 60% increased defense buff, this puts her over 4,000. Same thing with Frozen Banshee. She has more defense, but less HP. Coffin Smasher, about the same defense, and 54,000 HP. So you can see where I'm going here. High defense, high HP. The more HP they have, the more healing they're going to get from their Guardian set as well. Which is why my Hellborn Sprite has the highest defense, or the highest HP, because she's my stun target. As the stun target, she's going to be taking 30% more attacks than the rest of the team because she's the only one taking the stun. So by increasing her max HP, she's going to get an extra big heal, or a proportionally larger heal than the rest of the team, to keep her equal with everybody else as the fight progresses. Now let's take a look at their masteries. For High Katoon, it is imperative that you take the Steadfast Mastery. This mastery will make it less likely that High Katoon takes the stun from the clan boss. What you take from there is kind of regardless from the support tree, but I went into extra accuracy, Lore of Steel, and then this is for other PvE content where I'm trying to place the decreased speed debuff from her A1. Then I went crit rate, down to crit damage, more damage when attacking from full HP. This Life Drinker to get a little bit of extra healing when they're low, and then straight down the left side to War Master. This is where the big damage comes in. And then conversely to Haikatoon, you want to make sure that Hellborn Sprite does not have Steadfast. This will help encourage the clan boss to place the stun onto Hellborn Sprite. Also, to help encourage the clan boss to place the stun upon her, you want to make sure that you have her second highest in the team order, because team order affects stun targeting. So Haikatoon here, Hellborn Sprite here. And then similar to Haikatoon, we're taking Life Drinker plus all these extra damage masteries all the way down here to War Master. Frozen Banshee. I have enough accuracy in her build that I do not need these accuracy masteries from the support tree. So I have taken defense, reduced damage from AoEs, that's irrelevant, and then delay death to reduce the damage she takes from the clan boss by an additional 6% over the course of the fight. And then I did not take any other mastery from the defense tree because counterattacks could potentially fill up the debuff bar such that they prevent decreased attack from going on to the clan boss. As it stands now, Frozen Banshee, on a 2-to-1 turn ratio like this speed tune, she will place Poison Sensitivity and then place 2 poisons on her following turn. The clan boss takes a turn, and the duration of these poisons and Poison Sensitivity will tick down by 1 turn. Then she'll A1 again for 2 more poisons, and then A1 again for 2 more poisons. So Frozen Banshee by herself will occupy 7 of the 10 debuff slots. That leaves 1 for Weaken on Hellborn Sprite, 1 for Decreased Defense on Marked, and 1 for Coffin Smasher for decreased attack, which is why I turn off Coffin Smasher's A2, because I do not want him to place the HP burn instead of the decreased attack and then prevent him from placing it in the future. Prevent him from placing the decreased attack in the future because the debuff bar is full. Frozen Banshee's masteries. So after we stop here at Delay Death on the offense tree, just following down the far left-hand side, most notably picking up Life Drinker, Heart of Glory, Bring It Down, Methodical, and War Master. Very similar. Again, I wanted to pick up Sniper to increase the likelihood that he places decreased attack by 5% because he attacks 3 times, and each hit gains value from Sniper. So instead of a 30% chance 3 times, it's a 35% chance 3 times. And I've even taken Master Hexer to increase the likelihood that decreased attack stays on the clan boss for the entire fight. And then rather than War Master, because Coffin Smasher has a 3-hitter A1 and that's all he's doing, we've taken Giant Slayer to squeak out just a little bit of extra damage. Unfortunately, we're not able to take Methodical, because if we did, we would not be able to reach Giant Slayer, but it's worth the sacrifice in my opinion. And Marked, pretty similar. We do take Steadfast on Marked because, again, I don't want her to take the stun. And I've just kind of wiggle-waggled down here to War Master. I'm not really sure... Oh, to increase the amount of healing she gets from her Guardian set. That was my logic there. Okay. I forgot for a moment. Haikatoon, very similar. I think I went over basically everyone's going down to War Master. Yeah, we did go over Haikatoon. Frozen Banshee, Hellborn Sprite, Coffin Smasher, Marked. So, those are the masteries. Now let's talk about the blessings. For Haikatoon, because she is my only epic on the team, I have taken Cruelty to reduce the clan boss's defense up to 10% to squeak out some extra damage. On Frozen Banshee and Coffin Smasher, each of them have Phantom Touch to have a 75% chance of dealing bonus damage on Frozen Banshee for being 5-star, and Coffin Smasher at 3-star means an extra 30% chance of dealing the bonus damage. Hellborn Sprite, I've taken Nature's Bounty. What this does is it gives her, at 4-star, a 30% chance to place the big version of Weaken rather than the small version. And similarly, Marked also has Nature's Bounty. Unfortunately, she's only at 2-star, but this gives her a 15% chance to place the big version of Decreased Defense rather than the small version. Now, as you can see, this team is capable of a 4-key. I've already gotten my 4 keys today, but I'm going to go ahead and jump in and show you how the setup looks in game. 73.48 million is my total score between all 4 keys, and for the top chest you only need 70.28. So we're just about 3.5 to 4 million over where we need to be as a minimum, so it's quite comfortable. So for the AI setup, now even though it's not full auto, we still want to turn off Hellborn Sprite's A2, so she's only using the A1 when she doesn't need her A3. The reason for this is to increase the uptime of Weaken on the clan boss. Similarly, with Marked, we're also going to turn off her A2 to maximize the uptime potential of the decreased defense she places on the clan boss. So when she's not using her A3, she's using her A1. And then make sure that you uncheck the start on auto box and then dive in. The reason I want to show you this on Spirit is because it can be tricky. If some of the Magic Affinity champions do not take the decreased speed debuff from the clan boss, it can actually throw off the speed tune. So you notice we went A1 with Haikatoon and A1 with Hellborn Sprite. Another A1 with Haikatoon, and now she is full auto. Hellborn Sprite is another A1. Marked can do whatever she wants. Haikatoon is on full auto now. Frozen Banshee. So you see here, Coffin Smasher did not take the decreased speed debuff. This could potentially throw off the speed tune, and that's something you need to be aware of. We're going to push it through just in case. It might actually work because the rest of the Magic Affinity champions did receive it. So this is the final A1 with Hellborn Sprite. After this, she's going to take the stun and become stunned. That's okay. That has been accounted for with the speed tune. Bam. So she is stunned. That's perfectly fine. Now on the next, not this AoE, but the next AoE 2, the one after this, we need to monitor the status of the decreased speed debuff and keep an eye out for it. Because it is possible that if they get weak hit and don't have the decreased speed placed upon them, it can throw off the speed tune. So now the thing that we need to check for is on turn 7. Oh, okay. So there, clearly the speed tune is off. So at this point you would have to exit hard close. Don't do this. Don't hit end battle because that will consume your key. What you do instead is if you're playing on your phone, you swipe up and you swipe out of the game to exit. But on PC, I'm going to mouse over here and I'm just going to click the X on my toolbar. It says, "Are you sure you want to exit the game?" Hit OK. And that'll close out the game. So unfortunately, against Spirit, it is a little wonky. It might take you a few tries, but if you're not currently hitting Ultra Nightmare, and this is what it takes to get to Ultra Nightmare, I assure you it's worth it. So now that I've shown you guys that, let me show you the 4 keys. I'm going to put all 4 keys on the screen at the same time and let you watch them play out. I did 2 keys versus Void and 2 keys versus Spirit Affinity. Enjoy. Yes, we Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this guide helpful, please consider giving it a like because it was literally 5.5 months in the making. If you'd like to continue keeping tabs on the free-to-play Rares Only Plus series, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to start the series from the beginning, I will have a playlist in the top left-hand corner of your screen. You can start from the beginning. That playlist includes every weekly update as well as every live stream. If you're not interested in the live stream, but you still want to catch every weekly update, I'll link to episode 1 over here, and at the end of every episode, there will be a link to the next episode, so you can skip the live streams if you're not interested in that content. Anyway, that does it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, I will see you in another video soon, but until next time, everyone, happy raiding.